All right, all right. Mic check one, mic check two. If you are watching this live stream back on the replay, make sure you take advantage or just take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people time to check in. Woo! Yeah, guys, it's another hot one. It's another hot one. I'm excited because we got a few new things going on the channel. And I need to give somebody a special shout out. And I'm about to explain to you how this thing is going to work, at least for right now, moving forward. You're already aware that we've been doing community support as far as for the channel, where we have a section where we say, you know, you can support through Cash App and PayPal, but we only do that for like, I want to say it's like 10 seconds, maybe 10, 15 seconds where we talk about that. And I have that in the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Guys, we got to change that. So I don't know if you know or not, but I'm not monetized yet. So every dollar counts. And I want to apologize to J-Rock because what live, that was the live stream we did on January 7th. He sent a Cash App. And when I was checking the Cash Apps and the PayPals, to be honest with you guys, I was getting discouraged because nothing was there. So I stopped checking. And then today, when I was setting up, taking care of some business, and look, I'm like, oh man, I got a Cash App. Checked and seen, and it was my man J-Rock. So he's going to be the sponsor for tonight's show. So I am going to not send him a chat, but I'm about to put a link in here for YouTube to let him know, to tag him, that I appreciate him. And everybody else, you guys know that that's what's going to be happening moving forward, and you can do this as well. So tonight, he's going to be the sponsor all night. As Cash Apps and PayPals come in, whoever has the highest one, they'll be the sponsor of the next show. That's how I'm going to do it for right now, until further notice, in case something changed. So right now I'm setting up the social stream ninja so we can get these chats going. And I have the alerts right here in front of me. So now if you send a Cash App or a PayPal, I will know immediately and I can give you a shout out now or as soon as possible. Better said. All right. So what I'm doing now, guys, I'm setting up for the show. I had most of everything ready. It just was the bathroom was tied up. You already know how it is with the family. So the bathroom was tied up. I needed to brush my teeth and get myself situated and change my shirt and all of this and all of that and everybody in the bathroom. But we got an awesome show tonight. I got some things I want to check out after the show as well. But yeah, it's been a productive, busy day, and my portfolio is looking nice. Every position that I have is green today. But we know what a day can bring, so we got to see how the market gonna act tomorrow. But usually Wednesdays, to me, tear me up. Like every Wednesday, if it was a way I could just take Wednesday out the week and just let my portfolio do what it need to do between the rest of the trading days, I think I'll be fine. It's Wednesday to tear me up. All right, so where was I? We got the script ready. We got that going. Okay, here's what we don't have ready. We don't have this ready. So let's pull up the charts for Johnson & Johnson because that's who we're covering tonight. Come on, load up. And let me, now that I have that going, let me send this link to J-Rock. J-Rock. Give me a second, guys. Sending him a message. Mike's show. All right, there we go. I typed the rest of this message in the emoji box. Oh, give me a second. There we go. What's happening? There we go. All right, so we got that. I'm gonna pin this chat. I don't think I can pin it from there. That's why it's not loading, guys. I ain't put the right ticker in. Bear with me. We got multiple things going on right now. And since I got a few things going on, let me go ahead and go to Facebook and share this stream from my page to my personal page. Let's do that. Just quick. Wait, no. I don't own that music. I don't know what's going on with that music. All right, so let's go here. Page. There we go. On my page, I'm live. Share this to my other. Let me do this. Yeah, we'll leave what we got up there. I'm still setting up, guys. That's what's going on, but the chat is open. The chat is open. So we got this. That's yesterday. That's not what's going on now. So that's that. So let's go to here. Okay. I'm sharing the live stream from my business page over to my personal page, guys. That's what I'm doing right now. So share. Got it. So we got that done. Can close this out. But now I want to go to YouTube and I want to pin the chat we just did. Let's go to go live. Here we go. I just clicked on it. What's going on? There we go. All right. So chat. All right, we pinned that message. There we go. All right, so we got that. And now we need to set up for the earnings and we can get the show started, guys. That's all. That's all that's going on. We just getting set up. Man, it's hot. Okay, so we're going to go to earnings. So go to Johnson & Johnson. Go here. Let's fix this. Bam. Pull this over. What's that thing at the top to say? Discover. J&J. Yeah, that's the right one. Well, we're not going to be able to take that banner down, but that's it. That's that. Now, the only thing is when we do the earnings, we're going to have to take that sponsor down. And then after earnings, I'll put it back up. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I definitely would appreciate it. We got a few new things going on the channel. And then I'm about to get started after I explain it to you. So we are doing sponsors now. So let me go here and go here. So J-Rock had sent in a Cash App to the channel, and he's the sponsor of tonight's show. So what we're going to do, anytime somebody sends a Cash App or a PayPal, whoever has the largest sponsorship, they'll become the sponsor of the next live stream. That's how we're going to do it right now until further notice. Because you know I'm doing this by myself. If I had a team, we could switch it up during the show. But as far as right now, that's how we're going to do it. So I have everything I believe we need to get the show started. So let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. Let's see what we got. Yep, we're good. We are good. So let's take this down, put that back up. All right. Let's go. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God. Oh, thank God it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday, guys. And tonight we are taking a look at ticker JNJ. You might know them better as Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson was founded in 1896 by three brothers, Robert Wood Johnson, James Wood Johnson, and Edward Meade Johnson, with the first office opening in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Now they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange and have a market value over $500 billion. Yes, that's billion dollars. Johnson & Johnson is in the pharmaceuticals industry in the healthcare sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Johnson & Johnson's competitors are Eli Lilly and Company, ticker LLY, Merck & Company Incorporated, ticker MRK, and Pfizer Incorporated, ticker PFE. We're going to review Johnson & Johnson's earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, FB for Facebook, and an X for X. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go over here to the earnings. Take that down. Go here. Yep, take this down temporarily. Change this, change that. Boy, it's a lot of clicking, but we got it. All right, let's go. Johnson & Johnson, ticker symbol JNJ, the $594.6 billion company, reported its second quarter earnings on Wednesday, July 15th. They have a 52-week high of $269.43, which took place on July 7th, and a 52-week low of $154.80 that occurred on July 15th of last year, which is a trading range of $114.63. And they closed today at $247.02. Johnson & Johnson's earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $25.3 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $25.1 billion. And they beat on the bottom line as oncology sales grew double digits. EPS was higher than the analysts and market expectations of $2.85 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $2.90. Johnson & Johnson reported a GAAP net income of $5.5 billion, which is nearly the same as the net income they reported this same quarter last year, having just a 0.1% difference. So for the second fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 0.1% higher than it is compared to now a year later. Earnings were released before the market opened, followed by 8:30 a.m. Eastern time conference call. As far as guidance, management increased full year operational sales and adjusted earnings per share outlooks. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $247.02 represents an increase of 59.6% over a span of a year. So if someone invested $1,000 at that 52-week low of $154.80, they would be seeing a gain of $595.74. Woo! We did that. All right, now let's move on. Let's go here. Take that down. Go here. Put the sponsor back. There we go. All right, now let's talk about researching a company. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition, and how well do they take care of their employees? Where we look, we search for those answers in 4 main areas: the homepage for goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, values, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for stock quotes, charts, and financial reports. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. All right, let's go over to Johnson & Johnson's website. So here we go. Bam. All right. Now, let's see what we can find over here. Guys, they got everything we need right at the top. This is already going well. So we got our company. So I'm looking at that as about us, but we're still going to scroll down to the bottom. But our company, investors, and careers. So it's right here at the top. So let's scroll over this homepage, see what they have at the bottom, and let's get to clicking. Johnson & Johnson, we're tackling the world's toughest health challenges. Okay, medicines and therapies, medical devices and technology. Okay, innovating in healthcare. These different things they take care of there. Remember, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience. Careers at Johnson & Johnson. Explore the latest job openings. Learn about our hiring programs, our career benefits. Yes. So that's going to be easy to find. Learn more about how we are innovating. Got it. And we are at the bottom, guys. So let me take me off the screen and see if there are some links down here. So here we go. About us. So that's where our company is. So everything we need is right there at the top. Our company, careers, and investors. So let's go ahead and start clicking. Our company. Bam. Here we go. Put me back on the screen. Here's a video. You can watch that on your own. I'm not going to play it. Health and care. Our company at Johnson & Johnson, we believe health is everything. Every day, our approximately 140,000 employees globally are building a world where complex diseases are prevented and cured. Treatments are smarter and less invasive, and solutions are personal. For 140 years, we have aimed to keep people well at every age and every stage of life. We're tackling the world. We talked about that earlier. So Johnson & Johnson's innovative medicine, Johnson & Johnson MedTech, our leaders. So executive committee, board of directors. I'm not even going to try it, but that's the chairman and chief executive officer. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. All right. Knock yourself out. Our people. I don't want to search jobs. I thought it was a scroll. Oh, no. There we go. All right. So our rich history of innovation. So they talk about their history. Johnson & Johnson at a glance. Here are some stats. Our stories of impact. Okay, so let's go to careers. I know they mentioned something about benefits, how we hire, life at Johnson & Johnson. I know we seen. There it is, employee benefits. Let's go straight to it. They have way too many things. I thought we were just going to scroll over a page. Nope, we're not scrolling over nothing. Not how they got it. Employee benefits. We care for your physical, mental, emotional, and financial health. Health is everything. Benefits to help you thrive. Physical, mental, emotional, financial. We care for you, the whole you, when you join our team. Here are some of the ways we do it. So exceptional child care benefits, employee assistance program, global well-being reimbursement, total compensation, healthy campuses, culture of recognition. Paid time off for what matters to you. Parental leave for all new parents. Paid time off for volunteer work. Bereavement leave. Time to care for others. Gratitude fuels my work. Our stories. Join Global Talent Hub. All right, I want to go back to careers and see if we can just scroll over this, because we already seen what the benefits were. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. So they talked about the benefits. That's another way of doing it. So our hiring programs, military connected community, accessibility, contractors and freelancers for students, co-ops, internships. I'm looking for if they say anything else about values, mission statements, and anything like that, but I do not see that. Johnson & Johnson is a place where your contributions and perspectives matter. Join our award-winning workplace. Got it. All right, let's go to investor relations. We can keep it moving so we can get ready to go to the charts. Look, they zoomed us out. Let's get back to 150. So here's the stock information. Let's scroll over this page. We're going to click stock info at the top. The Johnson & Johnson value. At Johnson & Johnson, we believe health is everything. Our strength in healthcare innovation empowers us to build a world where complex diseases are prevented, treated, and cured. Treatments are smarter and less invasive, and solutions are personal. I believe we read that before. So here are some more stats about the company, or is that the investment financial stuff? That's stats as far as like financial things. Okay, we're at the bottom, guys. So let's go to stock info, and we're going to go to stock quote. And here are some other tools that they have for investors on the website. So stock quote, and here is the stock chart and other investor tools. All right, so let's talk about clients and partners of Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson does have clients and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include McKesson Corporation, ticker MCK, Cardinal Health Incorporated, ticker CAH, and Cencora. I'm going to spell it CENCORA Incorporated, ticker COR. Now, let's talk about the mobile limitations, all right? Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited and don't have all the features that are available on a full trading platform. All right, now let's look at Johnson & Johnson on the charts. So we go here, bam, 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 bam. There we go. All right, we can take me off the screen because I'm blocking some of the information. Okay, let's see where we are. Is this on 30? That looks kind of off to me. Let me double check. Nope, it's not on 30. So we'll put that on 30 real quick. Boom. So here we go. We are looking at Johnson & Johnson on a 1-year daily chart. So here's that information right there. Wait a minute, what we got going? Here we go. On a 1-year daily chart, here's their 52-week low of $154.80. Here's their 52-week high of $269.43. Okay, now what we're going to do, that's a steady uptrend, guys. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go look at the 10-year weekly chart. And this does go all the way back to 2016, so we covered that. Here's where it says 10-year weekly, so we have that. Here's their 10-year low of $109.16, and here is their 10-year high of $269.43. Now, we knew that that's also the 52-week high as well. So they have a 10-year high and a 52-week high of the same price. Now, what I'm noticing immediately or right off the bat, because most of this price action right here, give me a second, something is acting up on my screen. Let me get rid of this and I will be right back. I will be right back. Give me 1 second. There we go. And then that should help us out. We should be good after that. All right, good. So here we go. Since most of the price action is right up here, guys, we don't have any historical data, at least in the last 10 years with price levels like that. So we can go back and just focus on the 1-year daily chart. Guys, this was a healthy uptrend. So what we're going to do, this was something I put on there earlier. We haven't looked at this company before on the live stream, so we're going to start all of our technicals from scratch. And it's just, they just been making lower and lower lows. So let's zoom in on where we are right now, and then we'll start doing the levels. So this pattern right here is a bearish engulfing pattern. So that was a concern. Actually, it had a few different patterns that was saying bearish, but it didn't come down right after it. So these two candles right here is a piercing pattern, a bearish piercing pattern. Then this one is a harami pattern, but it's in the upper half or near the mid of the body. So it wasn't as bearish. And then the next day it gapped up. So you had a gap there, and then it did a bearish engulfing pattern. And then from there, the next candle looks like it closed under the 9-day simple moving average. So let me double check that. The 9 for this day was at $259.25, and they closed at $259.10 on that day. So that was below that simple moving average on that day. So the first day that it closed below it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5 days trading below the 9-day simple moving average for Johnson & Johnson. And then today they had earnings. So let's look for some areas of support. Now, one of the things about Johnson & Johnson, because it was on such a strong uptrend, we can use this area right here because this is where it kind of flattened out. Okay, so let's zoom in on that area. Let's get the price levels, and I'm going to use these crosshairs to kind of, guys, that's it. I spoke it up while I was doing it. That price level right there, you can see how it responded to it over here and over here. So I'm looking to see if it's a way we could do this as a zone to make it even a little bit more sharp. Yeah. So let me show you what I'm doing. If I go in here, we're focusing on these candles right here. We use the high over on the other side, but there's another way for us to do this. We use the rectangle tool. We take the close, not the high of that candle, but the close, and just connect it to this candle right here because that's real close to the 247. Remove this, zoom out, and I'm going to do that as a zone. So I'm going to extend this over to December 1st. Let's go over to December 1st. Bam. And then I'll extend that over to the left, and we'll take that back to July of last year, July 1st, and that'll be the whole thing. Then we expand this, and then we can focus on where we are now, expand that a little bit more, drag this over. Look at the wick on that candle, guys. The wick for this candle right here. So it came all the way up here today and took all that back and went down further than where it closed. That looked very bearish. Very, very bearish. All right, so the price levels for that zone we just put on the chart. The bottom of that zone is $247.25. So let's find that candle. I think it was this one. Yep, that's it. 247.25, and then it was the close of this green candle right here. Now, the reason why I used that close and I didn't use the high of this green candle is because the close was below the body of the red candle. So I like to have it where it's real close to an open, high, low, or close of a candle. It doesn't have to be all highs and it doesn't have to be all highs or closes. I like to have it where it's one of those 4 points near that area that I'm focused on. So if we look at this, like where the price action is today, not only is that wick extremely bearish, especially for the fact that it went above, it cleared yesterday's whole candle, the high, the body, everything. It cleared all of that. And then sold back off during the session to close lower than the open. So we know that this is the open. And then came lower, but still closed below that area of support that we use from the historical price data, at least from this year. So it closed below the 9 again. It closed below everything, the whole price action from yesterday. So there was a gap there that it closed during the session. And then it closed below this area of support, both of the areas of support. So as far as resistance, what I'm seeing is the 9-day simple moving average as resistance if it can get back up there. And wait a minute, guys. I hope that light didn't overheat. Now I'm looking for, this looked like it might be an area of resistance to me. So let me go here, crosshairs. Yeah. So $255.52. So I'm looking at the wick here. I'm looking at the wick here. It didn't quite touch it, but it came close to it. Same thing with here. The open looked like it's right here on that price level as well, the 255.52, and then this wick went above it and wasn't able to close it. So that's a price level that I would keep an eye on as well. Then you have a few candles here where the wicks weren't able to close above that level there as well. So that's another area I would keep an eye on. So that's two areas of, you got four areas of resistance as far as like the lines that I put on here. So we got four resistance levels, including the simple moving average, the non-simple moving average. So that's 5 points that I would keep an eye on as far as price action. And if you need the price for the 9-day simple moving average, that's going to be that right there, 258.64. All right, now let's look for some support. Well, that's a good one. That's easy to identify. So right here, we see a gap that hasn't been closed yet. So let's put that on there. We're going to make that yellow to identify this a gap. Take that out to December 1st. Bam. There we go. Get our price levels. So that's the bottom of the gap, $231.45. The top of the gap is $234.35. And here is another level. So I'm putting it right here on the open of this red candle as a price level. Make sure I got the right tool. So we can see that this green candle opened on that price level. The red candle opened on that price level. That it's exactly $240. This candle couldn't get above it. This candle closed above it. Then it was able to take off from there right above that price level of $240. And then I'm seeing over here to the left. So let me take me off the screen. You couldn't see it. This $240 price level, if we drag it back over and look, we can see that a lot of these candles were responding to that price level. You see how many highs, open, lows, and closes are responding to that price level, $240 right through here. Okay. So we can take a lot of that drawing stuff off, but we're good. That's it. That's the technicals I have for Johnson & Johnson. We can put me back on the screen. We can zoom in from here. It's the last thing I'll give you about this one. So it looks like down here would be something I would keep my eye on as far as support. And then we can see that the 200-day simple moving average is at $222.21. And it's just crossed that area of $221.17. Because we see a few candles that use that price level as support, even though the wick on this candle didn't touch it. Okay, so let's get the stock quote for Johnson & Johnson. We marked that chart up quick. I felt like it was quick. We got a lot of lines on there compared to the fact that it wasn't nothing there before. All right, let's go to the settings and cut on my floating data box and let's get it. So Johnson & Johnson opened today at $250.09. They had a high of $256.83 and they had a low of $246.05. And they closed today at $247.02, which is a trading range of $10.78. Now, when we look at the volume, guys, they traded 10.5 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal or not? We don't know, but we about to find out. So let's take me off the screen. And the average trading volume for Johnson & Johnson in a daily trading session, guys, is 8.5 million shares. So they did about 2 million shares more than average today. And then on this candle, which was yesterday, they came in at 8.7 million. So that was above average. And then we also seen volume increase today. So we see increasing volume as the candles are coming down, broke that support and actually closed below that support zone that we put on the chart. Okay. So let's put me back on the screen and let's talk about this. So the volume percentile out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume is higher than 85.3% of those candles. To be exact, only 37 of the most recent 252 trading days had higher volume than today. But high volume was expected because today's trading action responded to earnings. All right. Now let's take that off the screen and let's go here. There. Take that down. Go here. Okay. Community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down on the ticker on the screen and down in the description. All right. Here we go. Now, S&P 500 index. Okay, let's see how the S&P 500 performed today by looking at the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. Okay, let's go back to the charts. Bam, bam. Bam, S&P 500 index. There we go. All right. So we're going to go up here to the symbol box. Let's type in SPY. Okay, take me off the screen. So here's the 52-week low for the SPY. $618.05. 52-week high, $760.40. They closed today at $754.81. Got it. So let's zoom in and focus on the current price action. And we can put me back on the screen in 1 second. Oh, look at how it came down and tested the 9-day simple moving average. It almost touched it. So it came down to our level of support. And then let me go ahead and put this up here. Oh, I feel good. It's starting to cool off a little bit. So it's a psychological price level here of $750, which we've been talking about, even though we have a price level of support and resistance. Well, it's support right now of $749.88. And we can see that the simple moving average, the 9 simple moving average, is at $750.18. That's where it is right now as far as today's candle. So it's just above this area of support that's acting as support right now. And it's above the psychological level of $750. And we can see that that candle peaked right above that next level of resistance that we had on the charts. We ain't really put nothing new on here. These are levels we didn't have on the chart. And it wasn't able to close above that price point. We can see it peaked up above it and it almost closed right where this candle closed at. So it might be able to get above there tomorrow. And as far as right now, it's already trading. It's not by much. It's like $1 more. Right now it's trading at $755.40 right now. All right. So it's certain areas in the market that's weak and pulling back. I don't know if they declining, but they definitely moving in the opposite direction than what they've been moving. I think some of them had some strong gains today in some of those sectors, but we're going to find all that out. Ain't no reason to even assume. We're going to follow the money. You know where we're going next. But as far as this, let's go ahead and finish up this quote. So let's go over here to the settings, open up the floating data box, and let's talk about it. So the SPY opened today at $754.24. They had a high of $755.58, and they had a low of $750.20. And they closed today at $754.81, which is a trading range of $5.38. Trading volume Guys, they constantly doing this on low volume. Trading volume is 43.8 million shares of this ETF was traded today. So is that a big deal or is it a little deal? Let's go and figure that out right now. Let's take off the setting. Let's take off the floating data box. Take me off the screen and let's go over here. The average trading volume is dropping, guys. It was at 73 million shares in a daily trading session. Now it's 72. Now it's 72. These trading days at these price levels have been low so often. It has been low so often that the average trading volume is dropping, is declining. Look at how low it was yesterday. So yesterday, the trading volume was 35.1 million shares in a daily in that session, this candle right here. And then today, we do see an increase in volume. So now today we got 43.8 million shares traded. So we see an increase from Tuesday to Wednesday, which was today, but it's still, both of these days are still below average. Okay. So how low is that? I'm glad you asked. Let's put me back on the screen and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume is only higher than 9.9% of those trading days. To be specific, only 25 of the 252 most recent trading days volumes are lower than today's volume. So DB days below. So this is just how low that trading activity was today on the SPY. All right. Got it. Now let's move on. Where we going now? I know where we going. We going here. Then we go here, take that down, go here, then we go. All right, that's a lot of clicking. It's a lot of clicking. Sector performance tracker. Time to follow the money. Let's look at each sector inside the S&P 500 index to see how they perform today and take some time to update and review our notes. All right, so let's go to the sector performance grid. Let's go back to the charts. So we got bam, 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 and bam. Yes, sir. So here's the grid. Go to sector performance. Take these arrows off. All right. And this is on 6 months. I'm going to have to update this. But anyway, we got it. So let's go over here to 1 day. So we got what we need there. Let me pull up our notes. So let's go back here briefly while I pull up our notes. Pull up the workbook, guys. We need our workbook for our notes. Sector performance. Yeah. Yes. All right. So I have it. I'll bring you over so you can see, and then I'll position it while we're over here. So we have our data for Monday. We have our data for Tuesday. Now we need to focus on getting our data in here for today. So let's talk about it. So the S&P 500 performance for today, they went up 0.4%. Energy went down 0.8%. Materials is down 0.3%. Industrials down 0.2%, consumer discretionary up 1%, consumer staples up 0.1%, healthcare looks flat, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Financials went up 0.7%, technology is down 1.1%, communication services is up 1.7%, utilities down 1%, and real estate up 0.2%. All right, so now what we're about to do, we are about to start entering this information in our notes, and it's going to be a lot faster. Now, when I read them to you, I read it to you with 1 decimal place. But in order for us to see exactly what's going on, guys, we need to have it where it has 2 decimal places. So it has that over here. When we look at percentage change, we have it in ascending order right now. So we already have it laid out as far as our gainers. So right here, our baseline for Wednesday, the SPX, the S&P 500 index was up 0.38%. Now it's going around it. And what I'm going to do, since we see the labels around it to 1 decimal place, in our notes, I'm going to go ahead and put it where it's 2 decimal places. So the way we do that, we go, let me blow this up. It'll be easier to see right here. There we go. All right, so those are 2 decimal places. Now, let's get our top gainers. So communication services, XLC, and it was up 1.73%. Bam. We didn't do these. Of course I didn't. Of course I didn't do all of those. It just did the ones I could see. Load this back up and do that right. There we go. Put it back. All right, we're good. Now, second gainer, XLY, consumer discretionary. They were up 0.95%. Nope, we got to do this 0.95%. There we go. Third top gainer was XLF, financials, XLF, and that was 0.68%. So we got that for our notes. Now we're going to put it in descending order to make it easy. So we got XLK. So XLK is information technology, guys. They're the biggest loser today. And they were down 1.11%. So we need to put negative 1.11%. There we go. The second biggest loser was utilities, XLU, and they were down 1.03%. Why did that do that? 1.03%. Man, they needed to be negative, and negative 1.03%. There we go. XLU. So the next one is energy, XLE, and they were down 0.79%. All right, so now that we have this information in our notes, let's start looking through. I'm gonna leave that over there. Let's start looking through these different sectors to see. There we go. To see what sectors are showing up this week and how they're showing up. So let's cut this onto both. So change that to both and let's start scrolling through these sectors. So communication services, they showed up once. So they showed up as the top gainer and they're up 1.73%. Okay. Consumer discretionary, they showed up twice this week. Monday, they were the second biggest loser. Wednesday, they're the second biggest gainer, and they didn't gain back as much as they lost on Monday. Got it. Consumer staples, they showed up once. That was Tuesday. That was the second biggest loser. Energy, they showed up every day. So they gained 3.01% on Monday, on Tuesday. You know what? Nope, we don't need to do it this way because now this is too much reading. When we go back to reviewing in our notes, it's easier when we look at this from the 1 decimal spot. I know I keep flip-flopping back and forth, guys. Bear with me, but I think this makes it easier to do. Got to keep trying different things out. That makes it easier to read and easier to see. So energy. So even though they lost this 0.8% today, it didn't wipe out the gains that it's got this week so far when it comes to energy. So what's next? We look at financials. Ooh. That's 3 days in a row. They've been holding that third spot. You see how quiet that move's been? A little bit here, a little bit here. They the third gainer. The last 3 days straight, just a quiet little subtle moves has been moving up. No red, but they in the top 3 every day this week so far. So definitely, I'm going to keep an eye on financials. Let's see what we got next. Healthcare. Healthcare showed up once. They were the biggest loser on Tuesday. Industrials, they showed up once. Third biggest loser on Monday. Information technology, they showed up every day. They gained 1.3% on Tuesday, but that wasn't enough to recover from the loss on Monday. And then they lost another 1.1%. So this almost knocked out it almost took back what it gave on Tuesday. That's basically how I'm seeing that. And we go to materials, that hasn't even shown up. Real estate showed up once, the third biggest loser on Tuesday. So what I'm seeing that's moving, energy, financials, and information technology. From our notes, that's what I'm seeing that's moving. So we following the money. All right, now let's go ahead and move on. Let's go here. And we already sponsor up. Take that down and do this. All right. Biggest gainers and losers. Now let's look at the S&P 500 companies for the biggest gainer and loser of the day. And first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. All right. Let's go to our watch list. Let's go. So we go here. We can leave that there. Let's take this stuff down. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on now. Get rid of that. Take this back to pro market close. Go up to market watch. Go to quotes. We already have it pulled up. Absolutely. All right. So here is the biggest loser for today. The biggest loser is ticker PNR. Pentair PLC. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So go ahead and hit that. Now, we've never seen this company on a live stream before. So they are in the industrial sector, but we'll get to that in a second. They lost 15% today. Let's focus on that. They lost 15% today. Their previous close was $75.68, and they closed today at $68.33. Okay, so let's do a hypothetical. So pull the calculator up. So we got that. Doom. Let's say $3,300. Let's say somebody was investing in $3,300. $3,300, and they lost that 15%. So we will multiply 15, turn it into a decimal, hit enter. There we go. They would have lost $495 of their $3,300 investment. I'm gonna do that one more time. 3,300 times 15%. Yep, $495 in the investment. We should have negated it. That's why it looked funny to me. Didn't put the negate on there. So they would have lost $495. We add the $3,300 back to it, so they would have $2,805 left for their investment. Bam. All right, now let's go to the Analyze tab. Take this stuff off. Go over to the Analyze tab. PNR, Pentair PLC is in the industrials industry. So we're going to check to see how that industry is in the industrial sector. Oh gosh, it's in the industrial sector. We're going to check to see how that sector performed, how the industry that it's inside of performed, and how the sub-industry that company is inside of performed. So let's go to Market Watch, go to Visualize. And I had healthcare pulled up. Let's go up to S&P 500. So we are looking for the industrials sector. It's right here, guys. And to me, seems it kind of look mixed. Let me take me off the screen for a sec. Kind of look mixed, but if I had to pick one, I would say I see more red than green. Here's PNR right here. It's the brightest red on here, which is expected. So we're inside the industrials sector. Now let's check out the industry. So PNR is inside the machinery industry. So when we go in there, I definitely see more red than green. And they are in the industrial machinery and supplies and components sub-industry. So when we go in there, that's green, that's green, that's green, that's green, and that's red. So you got 4 greens and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reds. So this sub-industry did poorly today, but everybody didn't do bad. But to me, they did poorly. All right, so let's go to the Analyze tab and let's talk about PNR, Pentair PLC, before we go to their website. Here's the link to their website, and the link to their website is also down in the description for your convenience. So Pentair PLC provides various water solutions in the United States, Western Europe, China, Latin America, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Australia, and Canada. Got it. Now let's go to their website. There we go. Pentair, put me back on the screen. Take that down. We already had a company ticker up. Absolutely. We're good. So Pentair, looking at the top, I see careers. I see brands. We might check that out. I see about, and I see investors. So everything we need is right at the top. We're going to browse over their website, and then we'll start clicking and looking around. We help the world sustainably move, improve, and enjoy water, life's most essential resource. Learn more about us. Pentair Flow, move water, improve water, enjoy water. Sustainability Spotlight. So sustainability report, careers, a purpose-driven company. Grow with us. Explore how you can make an impact by helping create a better world for people and the planet through our smart, sustainable water solutions. Innovation Spotlight. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but that's the name of the app. Yeah, I am going to try. It looked easier to read over here because they're saying that's mine. My Sudmo app puts customers first. Everpure and, oh man, these are some words for you, ain't it? Honored with Kitchen Innovation Awards. Driving pool innovation with an award-winning pump. New releases. View all Pentair. All right, we're down at the bottoms, and I've already butchered up enough of those words. So here we go. Careers, investors. I don't see. Here's our mission. They kind of our mission all the way down here at the bottom. Our mission. All right. Putting our mission in motion. Our employees are driven to make a difference within our walls and in our world, developing new solutions and technologies for our customers, continuously improving operations, supporting our teams and communities, and putting our noble mission in motion through philanthropic and sustainability initiatives. Guess you could say our culture is more of a calling. Our employees bring our values to life. So they have a video about that, a culture of inclusion, our processes, employee benefits. Great. So we don't have to dig around for that. Might as well browse at this now. So employee benefits, competitive financial compensation, reward and recognition programs, training and development, healthcare coverage for you and your family, disability protection, 8 weeks paid parental leave for birth parents, adoptive, and foster parents, 2 weeks paid caregiver leave, wellness programs, tuition reimbursement. Looks like it's a lot of other stuff down there as well. Remember, links are down in the description for you to check this out on your own time. Let's go to careers. Just browsing over it, guys. Just browsing over it because we already found the benefits. Let's see what they got here. Join our talent pool. Did they zoom us out? Yes, they did. Well, you got to watch them. So here goes some stats about the company. Be the first to apply. So they talking about different positions that they have open, making an impact, awards and rates. So this is stuff that we kind of seen before. All right, so let's go ahead and go to investors, and we can get ready to go to their website. I mean, go to the charts. I mean, on the website. We're ready to go to the charts. Reject this. Zoom in. Got it. Investor relations company overview. At Pentair, we help the world sustainably move. We already read all that. I can already tell they repeating themselves. Release news, events, recent reports, sustainability, subscribe to our, all right, we at the bottom, go back to the top right here. Stock information. So here's the stock quote, the stock chart, and other tools they have available for people, investors, and people on the website. So here we go, stock quote, and the stock chart hasn't loaded. So if this your first time tuning in, or you already familiar, you already know what's going on. Sometimes it takes a while for these chart sections on these websites to load up because I think they outsource that information. I just saw it move, but it didn't load up yet. But yeah, they have an investment calculator. It looks like the company pays dividends. There we go. It loaded up. So that's what they have available on the website. So let's talk about what I found in the company research, or in my company research. Here we go. Go here. Let's talk about it. Pentair PLC, ticker PNR. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage sustainable water solutions across the residential, commercial, and industrial markets, offering solutions such as 1, complete pool, like pool, swim pool filtration options, including energy efficient pumps and automated chlorinators for residential property owners. Number 2, scalable water treatment products, including commercial ice machines, pressure tanks, and control valves for food service operators. And number 3, optimized fluid management systems tailored for water waste reuse, agriculture spraying, and industrial fire protection. All right. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include McDonald's Corporation, ticker MCD, Starbucks Corporation, ticker SBUX, and Cisco Corporation, ticker SYY. All right. Now let's go to the charts. Bam, bam, bam. We're good. All right. Now, I remember we've never looked at this company on the live stream before, so we got our work cut out for us, guys. So we're looking at a 1 year daily chart. Here is their 52-week high of $113.95. Here's their 52-week low of $57.60. And we're going to go to a higher time frame. So let's go to the 10-year weekly chart. Take those boxes down. Here we go, 10-year weekly. It does go back to 2016. We can see that right here. Here's their 10-year low of $22.01. Here's their 10-year high of $113.95. And just to peek real quick, I believe that's also, that's also their 52-week high. And to this week's red candle looks nasty, boy. Ooh wee. All right, so it looked like it found support right here. Even though it's over here, it looked like historically it found support in this area. So let's go ahead and start getting these levels on the larger time frame. So when I use these crosshairs, we can see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the price level on the low of that green candle. Let me zoom in. There it is. So that price level, that low of that green candle, bam. And we can see that that's where it found support at when we look back at the historical technicals, guys. We zoom back out. So I think the next level of support. Now, you know what else is interesting that you might not notice that I'm going to point out to you now? Let's zoom in. So if you've been following the live streams, you know that when we see large body candles like this, we look for the midpoint of that body of that candle to be support. So I want to see how close the midpoint of the body of this candle is to the support line we drew. So the midpoint is 55.98. The support line that we found, or that I drew, was 57.45. So it's about $2.50 difference. But that's the midpoint of that large body on that candle, that weekly candle. So remove drawing. Let's zoom out. Take me back off the screen so we can see all of these levels. So it looks like right here. So I'm gonna zoom in on this area right here. I want to put it on, is that the low of this candle or the body? The open. We're going to put it there. So what I did, I put it on the low of that red candle right there. So when we zoom out, we can see how this area right here responded to it. Let's blow this up. We see a couple wicks come down there. It was resistance right here, closed above it, closed below it, then it opened above it. Yeah. So over here it's responding to that price level too. And we also can see that that's close to a psychological price level, which is $50. $50. Put that up there. 50. Guys, the summertime, these bugs get in the house to be driving me crazy. So if this is your first time tuning in, that's what that is. They get up in the house, I'll be like, close the door, close the door. Then we got a dog, so we close the door a lot. So it's a nuisance. It's a nuisance once they get in here. So yeah, that's that. So that's what I'm seeing on the higher time frame. And as far as some more resistance, yeah, that's a price level right there. So right up in here, I know that's small, guys, but I'm trying to move a little bit faster, but we can see that it responded to that level over here, here, and it found that as support over here recently, and like a few weeks ago, not a few weeks ago, but what months are those? June. So that was around June that it found support on that $70.84 level. And then I would see resistance as the $73.40, which is the 9-week simple moving average. And then the 200-week simple moving average is $80.28. Okay, so that's what I got for you on the higher time frames. Let's go ahead and go to the 1 year daily chart. Take all this off, go back over here. Yeah, guys, so we can do, it's trading below the 9-day simple moving average. And it's trading below the 200-day simple moving average. That's the easiest thing we can do right now. Bam and bam. And it closed today at $64.33. So the first thing we're going to do, we need to identify this gap. There's a big gap right up now. So let's go ahead and get that gap filled or laid out. Let's get it outlined. We're not going to fill it. The price has to fill it. And that's if it's going to fill it. So we're using the rectangle tool, connect to the low of that candle, yesterday's candle, and the high of today's candle. And then we highlight this yellow or make the color yellow to identify that it's a gap. Extend this over to December 1st. There we go. Okay. And we're going to get those price levels. So that is the low of the gap. And this is the high of the gap, $75.44. And the low is $66.87. I'm just talking away and you can't even see me. There I am. All right. So as far as support, we got a couple support levels. So we got $50.42, and that's around the psychological level of 50. Then we have the $57.45, which is the price is up here. So that's a nice little distance for support. Then I'm seeing resistance at $66.87, $70.84, $75.44, and then the 9-day simple moving average is close to that area as well. I think that's decent for some technicals right now. And then over here, it looks like it was consolidation for a while. So that's too high. Let's tighten up this range. This was consolidation. And then after consolidation, of course, it's going to either break up to the upside or to the downside. And we can see that it went to the downside. And they do pay a dividend. So the next dividend is going to be 27 cents. Why does this say earnings? So wait a minute. I look confused because I'm usually like back here. You can't see it because I'm on the screen. You see how the earnings call and the earnings are on the same day? So maybe they haven't figured this out yet, or it is just that weird. So you have the earnings call. Come on, tell me something. So they got the earnings conference call scheduled before the earnings announcement. See how they got the same date? So let's say 7/28. 7/28. That's weird. I look like this on 2 different days based on how it's laid out on the chart. Let me take this stuff off the screen. Guys, I'm curious. So bear with me. I want to see why the heck it's like that. So one way for us to do that is to go to Market Watch and go to the calendar. Then right up in here, we put in the company name. So we put in PNR. And then we highlight earnings conference call. You see, it's both on the same day, but on the chart, for some reason, oh, you can't see it. You can see it. If I take me off the screen, when I mouse over on this day, it'll put more of the information down here. So it's giving us more information about it. But on the chart, it's thrown off. It's showing that the earnings is on a different day. And if you don't believe, like you don't know what you just, whatever. I'm about to show you what I mean. If I cut on the floating data box, when we mouse over something, the data will be at the top. So you see when we're over the phone, the earnings call, it says 7/28. When we go over the earnings, it says 8/3. It's saying August 3rd. But when we checked it, they both supposed to be on the same day. And they actually have a price on it already. That's weird. I don't know what the heck going on over there. All right. So let's get the stock quote for this company. We already got the floating data box on, so that's convenient. So let's get to it. So Pentair PLC, Open today at $57.99. They had a high of $66.87. They had a low of $57.60. And they closed today at $64.33, which is a trading range of $9.27. Now, when we look at the volume, guys, they traded 12 million shares of this stock today. I was looking at the time. I know it looked like, what are you looking at? I'm looking at the time. So we need to find out if that's a big deal for this company or not. So let's take off the floating data box, take me off the screen, and we can check to see. Ooh, guys, their average trading volume for this company is 1.7 million shares in the daily trading session. So to do 12 million is a feat for this company. So if we round this up to about 2 million, then that's 6 times what they normally do. And then we can see on Tuesday, they did 3.3 million, which was about twice as much as what they normally do. And that was this day right here. Yesterday's candle, definitely see a huge increase in volume. And what I'm curious about is, since this isn't on earnings, maybe there was a catalyst behind the move to the downside. So what I would do is this. I would go over here and look at the news just to try to find out the why behind the move. So we can go up here. So they got, look how many. So from here on up. So let me take me off the screen. From where I'm at. So we got this right here we can use. So from here, this is all the news they have on this company just for today. Okay. So this is why I don't like following the news to try to figure out what I'm going to do before it happens. I look at the news as a hindsight tool, not a forecasting tool, just me personally. So Seaport Global downgrades Pentair to neutral. Pentair stock plunges on alarming update. That's a headline that looked like it's going to give us an explanation or a story about what happened. So let's open this up and see what it says. Oh my, look how long this is. Pentair shares plummeted on Wednesday after the pool and water technology company slashed full year guidance, reported soft earnings, and said its chief financial officer resigned. In midday trading, the stock dived 17% to $62.84, wiping out a $2 billion market value. The drop puts Pentair on pace for its largest single day percentage decrease since 2000 and its lowest close since November 2023, according to Dow Jones market data. So that's how I would get the story behind the move. All right. So that was that. I don't believe we covered the volume because I jumped into trying to figure out what the narrative was. We did cover the volume. We just didn't finish covering it. So let's talk about the volume percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, none of those days had higher volume than today. So this is the highest volume it didn't had in the most recent 252 trading days. So we can see that it's no days above, and that you have 252 trading days below. All right. So that's that on Pentair. So let's move on. Let's go to our watch list and go to quotes and put this in ascending order, guys. Hope you paying attention. Here we go. Biggest gainer for today is PayPal. PayPal Holdings Incorporated. Guys, they gained 17.2% today. Previous close, $47.37. And they closed today at $55.52. And I'll bring it up. I'm so excited. I got to calm down. But I want to point something out to you while we're here. Let's look at some of these sectors. Let's look at some of these sectors that's showing up in the biggest gainers list today. Okay. Do you remember the 3 moving things from our notes? What's the 3 movers from our notes today? Financials, energy, and information technology. So let's look at what companies are showing up. Let's look at what sectors are showing up as the biggest gainers. Financials, 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 financials. We don't see it. I don't think we see a lot of information technology up here in this green either. Okay. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Okay. So let's do a hypothetical. Let's undo that. Put that back. Put that back. I just want to remove that box. Let's do our hypothetical. Put me back on the screen. Let's do our calculator. So here we go. Clear this out. We were using $3,300. So $3,300 getting a 17.2% gain. That gain would have been $567.60. Add the $3,300 back to it, which was the principal. Total investment would have grown to $3,867.60. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's leave there, get that off the screen. Let's go over to the Analyze tab, and we can see that PayPal is in the financials sector. We're going to check that sector. We're going to check that industry and the sub industry that PayPal is in to see what's going on. So we go up here to Market Watch, then we go to Visualize. We exit this out, go back to S&P 500, take me off the screen momentarily, and then we're going to find the financials. Financials is right here. Now we're inside financials, and we are looking for PayPal, bright green, right here, guys. PayPal is in the financial services industry. Now, something that jumps out at me, guys, we see a lot of green, and then we see red right up in here, okay? You know what's interesting about this red? It's concentrated. This red is all in the insurance industry. Outside the insurance industry, inside the financial sector, almost everything is green except for these large market caps over here in the financial services sector, okay? So the capital markets industry did good. The banks industry did well. And the consumer finance industry did well. It was insurance industry inside the financial sector that took a hit, and some of these large market caps inside of financial services. So when we go inside here, in transaction and payment processing services, that's where PayPal is. So the smaller market cap companies did well, but Visa and MasterCard, they had red days, but not by much. You see, MasterCard was only down 0.52%. And Visa was only down 0.25%. Berkshire Hathaway was only down 0.56%. Then when you get down here to APC, they went up 1.58% today. All right, so we looked at that. Let's go back to the Analyze tab. Before we go to their website, PayPal Holdings Incorporated is their company name. Here's a link to their website. Also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about the company and go to the website. PayPal Holdings Incorporated operates a technology platform that enables digital payments for merchants and consumers worldwide. Got it. Now, put me on the screen momentarily because I have a PayPal account. And I want to make sure that my information doesn't pop up. So give me a second to check this out. That's not the website. Cool. I'm good. None of my information is up here. Some people be forgetting. I don't be forgetting. I'll make sure. I'm making sure my stuff ain't on this here. Let's go ahead and go here. Let's go. Bring this up so you can see it. Take that off. We got it. PayPal Holdings. Got it. Okay. So now that we have them up here, we got the sponsor. Yeah, we're good. We are good. So let's look for where we need to go. Grow your business. Apply for fast funds. Learn more and apply. Do more with PayPal. So here are some apps. Well, the app showing you what you can do on the app. Help boost sales with pay later options. Send invoices and get paid fast. Connect with PayPal partner solutions. And here we are at the bottom of the screen. What a short scroll. So here is about. Here is jobs. So they don't say careers, they say jobs. And here is investor relations. So let's go ahead and go to about and get busy. Get busy. Put me back on the screen. Shaping the future of commerce for millions globally. So they have who we are at the top. Look, they made it easy. Mission and value. So we go back up there in a second. Who we are. how we work, our impact, latest news, and the bottom. So let's go back up here to who we are. Mission and values. Take me to it. Got it. Mission and values. We are revolutionizing commerce. What is commerce? We are revolutionizing. We are revolutionizing commerce globally with this mission as our North Star. We are aligned around one central vision to make sending and receiving money, selling and shopping simple, personalized, and secure. So our values. We live by our core values of inclusion, innovation, collaboration, and wellness. These values unite us as one global team, keeping our customers at the heart of everything we do and inspiring us to care for ourselves, each other, and our communities. Okay, those are the different values, who we are. Who we are. For over 25 years, PayPal has revolutionized global commerce with innovative experiences that make shipping, selling, and sending money simple, personalized, and secure. We empower consumers and businesses in nearly 200 markets to thrive in the global economy. About us, is this gonna tell us anything different? No, we already looked at that. Okay, cool. So we went through that. Employees and culture. No, we're looking for jobs. Wasn't it jobs? Let's go to employees and culture. Investing in our workforce is key to our success, and we are dedicated to creating a workplace where everyone can excel. Learning and development, employee total well-being. I believe this is going to be about the benefits, guys. So let's browse over this and come back. Yep. All right, cool. They just said it. We're not going here yet. I just saw it. Close this out. I just saw it. PayPal global benefits. I hope this ain't for the customers. Yeah. All right. So guys, this was going on here. They won't tell you what the benefits are unless you are an employee. That's what I'm getting from this. Helping you thrive, we provide a range of benefits focused on supporting the physical, financial, and emotional well-being of our employees and their families. That's all they disclosing. And they saying employees have to sign on. You can't see it. There you go. All right. So let's go to investor relations. So it ain't here. It's not there. So close that out. Investor relations. I know I just had accidentally clicked on it earlier. You know what? Let's just keep backing up. There we go. All right. Investor relations. Investors, resources right here. Blow this up, zoom in, and we're going to get to the charts, guys. I know this taking a minute. We almost done. So investor relations, here's some stock information up here. Creating innovative experiences that make moving money, selling, and shopping simple, personalized, and secure. PayPal, we read that before. Same thing. Browsed over the web page. Got it. Go back to the top. Here we go. Stock information. Here we go. Stock quote chart and other tools. So let's go there. Stock quote. Stock information. Here's the stock quote. Charts are already there. So they're helping us speed up a little bit faster. And there are some tools. So now let's go to the research that I got about the company. So we go here. Go there. Biggest gainer, PayPal Holdings Incorporated, ticker PYPL. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage digital payment processing across the checkout, consumer financial services, and merchant enterprise markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete branded checkout options, including PayPal Pay Later and Venmo integrations for online merchant stores. Number two, scalable digital wallet products, including Venmo, peer-to-peer transfers, direct deposits, and crypto processing for consumers. And number three, optimized enterprise commerce systems tailored for unbranded Braintree processing, fraud management, and global payment infrastructure. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Adobe Incorporated, ticker ADBE, Paychex Incorporated, ticker PAYX, and MasterCard Incorporated, ticker MA. Got it. Let's go to the charts. Bam. Bam, bam. Got it. Charts. Okay, we got a little bit of technicals done already because I used to keep an eye on this company. So let's talk about it. We are looking at a 1-year daily chart PayPal has a 52-week high of $79.50, 52-week low of $38.46. Let's look at a higher time frame. Take those boxes off. Now we're looking at a 10-year weekly chart, and we do have 10 years worth of data down here. We see 2016. They have a 10-year low of $36.28. They have a 10-year high of $310.16. Guys, this thing came. I want to use a pen. I don't even want to use an arrow. Let me find a pen. This thing came all the way down here. Okay. All the way. Oh my gosh. And it wasn't as nice as I drew it. It didn't go like that. It went like that. Oh my gosh. So they had that peak in 2021 and then came all the way down to what price level is this? To the high 60s. Oh, what type of decline is that? Let me take some of this stuff off the screen. Let me start erasing some of this. Just want to get an idea how far this thing fell down. So we're going to use the trend line tool. So if we use this right here, I can't see it because this box is on top. So I'm just remove all of that. And I'm going to zoom in on this section so we can just get an idea what that decline looked like. Like what did it actually, ooh. So we're going to connect that high to the lowest candle over here. I think, is it the red one or is it the green one? We about to see. So the low on that one is 67.58. 67.58. And then you got 60. Okay, so it's this one, this red candle right here. So let's do the trend line from the high of this candle down to the low of that candle. Ooh, guys, that's a 78% loss, more than 78% in less than a year. Oh, can you imagine if you bought it up there at that high and then lost more than 75% of your investment? And it still haven't recovered back to $66 yet. It fell even further than that. Oh my gosh, boy, that's too. Yeah. Ooh, I know that hurt. So yeah, guys, as far as historical price data, we got a lot to go. We got a lot we can cover. But as far as where the price action is right now, that's all we really need to focus on. So we have enough data down here in the year time frame to focus on. You see what I mean? Because it's way down from where it was. So let's just go ahead and get busy. Let's go ahead and get busy. So the first thing I'm seeing that's jumping out at me, we can remove this drawing, that trend line. And let's remove these as well. Remove those. Let's focus on what we got right here. So guys, right here we have a gap. So let's go ahead and put that gap there. Make it yellow, make it easy to identify. And we're going to take this over to December 1st. We're going to get these gaps done first because it looks like that on its way of gapping back up, it still hasn't filled that gap all the way yet. Okay. What do you mean? This is the highest point in that gap right now. So let's put that price level there. So that much of that gap has been filled. So that's $48.43. So what we'll do, we edit the properties and make the low end of that 48.43. 48.43. And then hit OK. And then bam. So that's how much of that gap has been filled so far, right? But then here's the crazy thing. We have a new gap because now from this candle's high to this candle's low, we got a new gap. So those gaps overlap. And it's a lot of different gaps down here on PayPal from what I'm seeing. So let's just go ahead and get this one identified first. So there we go. So the bottom of that gap is going to be $47.39. The top of that gap is $53.44. Yeah, we got most of our supports done already because of how many gaps it's been done. Okay. And Another area of support that I would look at is the 9-day simple moving average. That's going to be 46.99, at least for right now. So we know that moves and adjusts over time. Then we have the 200-day simple moving average at $52.95. That's going to be our dashed white line. So we have that. And being as so as the price action is up there, what I would do, let's zoom out. So we have that. And we're going to look to the left to see if we have some price action we can look at. So what I'm seeing, these two candles right here. So we go look at those two. Pull this over so you can see it. These two candles right here. So which one of these have the highest low? So the low on this candle is 58.04. The low on this candle is 58.11. Let's look at this again. No, it's 58. The low on this one is 58. The low on this one is 58.04. So that's the higher low. So we're going to use that one. And there we go. So that gives us 58.04 as another level of resistance. And then when we look at how these other candles responded to that price level, we can see it held as support. Then it was used as resistance. So that's what we got. Okay. And then another price level would be around 62.90. We're going to go with 62.82. And we can see how that was, how these candles responded to it. I did not know the camera overheated. Give me a second, guys. Let's fix this right now. Let's take that off so it's not even on the screen, so we ain't even got to worry about it. I'm surprised it lasted this long. I know it's hot in here. So here we go. Let's cut that off so that camera can cool. And then we're going to cut the other camera on when it boots up. There we go. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see how this is going to work out. Put that back there. Cam back up. There we go. Backup camera. Wish somebody had told me, if somebody even watching. Get camera out. We got another one. Boy got another one. So we good. Those are price levels as far as support and resistance. That's near what's going on right now. See how we got another gap back here? So this gap back here, I don't think has been filled all the way. So this would be the top of that gap. Yeah, this part did come in. Yeah, that's been filled. That's been filled, guys. So let's zoom in, focus on today's candle, and go ahead and get this quote. Let's get this stock quote and then look at the volume and get ready to wrap up tonight's show. And you know what sucks about this? That camera overheated right before we finished the show. Because that's where I do my closing at. So I'm going to see how this, hopefully it'll cool off quick enough for us to just be able to use it to close the show. So let's go here. Go to settings, cut on the floating data box, apply, let's get it. So right here, today's candle opened today at $54.85. They have a high of $55. Today's candle, not today. PayPal, guys, you can tell I'm ready to finish. PayPal opened today at $54.85. They had a high of $55.88, and they had a low of $53.44, and it closed today at $55.52, which was a trading range of $2.44. Trading volume, oh my. They traded 90.9 million shares of this stock today, guys. Oh, wow. Wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. Now, we still got to look at the labels to see how much of a big deal that is. But from what I'm seeing, I think that's a big deal. We need to figure out for sure. I'm looking at the wrong camera. We need to figure that out if this is a big deal or not. All right. So we're going to take me off the screen for a minute and let's go over here and look. So down here, the average trading volume for PayPal in a daily trading session, guys, is 17.2 million. They did 90.9 million. Okay. I think we need to pull out the calculator. So we pull out this calculator, clear this out. And what we're going to do, we are going to take the higher number. So 90, 9, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Divide that by 17, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 equal, subtract 1. That is, we could have left that. We could have left that 1. So I think that's 5 times what they normally do. Like a little over 5 times what they normally do on average. So let's do this a different way. So if I take that 17, 2, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then multiply that times 5, that's just shy of that. So that was that decimal part that we had seen. So that was 5.28. So let's do that again. 1, 7, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 times, and that number is right here. So 5.284883. That's enough. Yeah. See? Okay. So it's over 5 times what they normally do. That's what they ended up doing today. Over 5 times that. Now, what's crazy, guys, is that if we look at the average volume, that 17.2, and compare it to the volume they had yesterday, just Tuesday's volume came in at 9.4 million. So it was below average, almost half of what they did on average, only to turn around the next day and go crazy. Oh my, go crazy. Over 5 times what they normally get. And I'm even more shocked. Let's talk about the volume rate percentile. Let's not volume rate. Let's talk about the volume percentile. It's not volume rate percentile. Volume percentile. I thought that this volume was so impressive that out of the most recent 252 trading days, none of these days would have been higher than today. None of them. I was wrong. Today's volume is only higher than 99.6% of the most recent 252 trading days, candles. So that means that at least one, which we see right there, one day had higher volume than today based out of the most recent 252 trading days. Crazy. Wow, guys. All right. So PayPal is on the move. I don't know if it's undervalued. I don't know if it's undervalued, but when we looked at the long-term price change, if it used to be worth this, $310.16, and it doesn't down here, I don't see any stock splits. So it hasn't done any stock splits. The EPS during these time frames. Now I know this is adjusted. These are adjusted EPSs. Matter of fact, let's zoom in. Let's zoom in so you can see what I'm saying. This is crazy. If we're just looking at the adjusted EPS, now I know this isn't the only story about financials. Keep that in mind. This is not the only story about financials. I get that. But when PayPal was trading for $310.16, and we're looking at weekly candles now, the EPS, adjusted EPS, was $1.15. There has been no stock splits, right? So the reason why I'm pointing out that there's been no stock splits, I'm looking at the wrong camera. If it was stock splits, then however many stocks they split the stock up by, for example, let's imagine that the EPS was $1. Let's put that up here. So if the EPS was $1, let's imagine EPS, so adjusted ADJ EPS was $1. Let's imagine it was $1. And people were willing to pay $310.16 for this stock when the adjusted EPS was $1. If they did a stock split, for example, if they gave you 4 shares for one of your shares, then the EPS would drop from $1 to 25 cents because now it will be spaced out between each share. That's why I keep bringing it up. I want to explain to you what I'm saying. So think about that. They have not had a stock split. So if they haven't had a stock split and the EPS was $1.15, adjusted EPS was $1.15 when people were buying it for $310, let's back out and look at this, guys. So when we back out and look at this, and just to make sure, I don't know how to do that on the calendar. When we zoom in, a stock split is going to be purple. What's the company that has this so I can show you what it looked like? We just looked at a company recently that did a stock split. I think it was CrowdStrike. So CRWD. That's what a stock split symbol looks like, guys, right here. You see where it says 4-to-1? They just did the 4-to-1 example I was talking about. So they just changed it where if you had one share, they broke it into 4 pieces for you. Okay. You got 4 shares in exchange for 1 share. They just broke it into pieces. Okay. Now let's go back to PayPal. PYPL. So when we look at the chart, we don't see that symbol down there. From that high, there's no stock split. Let me take me off so you can see. I'm not hiding. There's no stock split. So think about that. If they were paying $310.16 for it when the adjusted EPS was $1.15, the adjusted EPS is higher now. You see this? $1.33, $1.40, $1.34, $1.23, $1.34. The adjusted EPS is higher than what it was back then. Now, guys, this is not that simple because inflation has risen since then, but not factoring that in and just looking at what we're talking about. Now, you able to buy it or was able to buy it before it jumped up like this while it was trading in the 40s instead of buying it when it was $310.16. So what type of discount is that? Let's pull out the calculator again, and then I'm going to end the show. I just want to share this with you. What type of discount is that? How would we do that? How would we do that? I get confused with this sometimes. So let's just try it out both ways. What type of discount was that? Will we put the lower number in first? Let's just try it. So let's look at what the low was over here. Let's zoom in. What's the lowest price it was within these weeks? The lowest price I'm getting is right here, guys. $38.46. $38.46. $38.46, and divide that by that 10-year high. So $310.16. I wonder if this is the way you do it. 310, 16. So if we negate that and add 1, guys, that's an 87% discount. 88% discount. So let's try this to see if we can get it close to that price. Like I'm checking my math. Let's do this a different way. So 87.5, right? So 87.5%. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to put in $310.16 minus 87.5. No. I'm doing this wrong. We need to multiply that. So we multiply that times 0.875. And we negate that and we add the 310. It's got to be a simpler way to do this. Let me pull up Let me pull up something. Let me pull up AI. Let's just ask AI. I'm gonna end the show. I'm also buying some time to let this camera cool down, guys. Why he taking so long? Why he doing this? I know what I'm doing. So I'll tell you what I'm doing. Burning a little bit of the clock to let the camera cool down because we're gonna switch over to this other one to end the show. But this is a learning lesson. This is how we do it. We're gonna figure this stuff out. So Gemini. Okay. So it'll give us the math problem. Instead of me trying to figure it out. I like trying to figure it out, but we're gonna do it a different way. Let's just go ahead and put it in. If a stock is trading at 30, let's get the exact number. Let's get the exact number. It was this low week right here. So that was $38.46. $38.46. Down from $310. And what was that 10-year high? 16 cents. 16 cents. What is the discount? 16 cents. What is the discount? I know I did it a long way, but that's about right, guys. That's about what I had got. 87.6% discount. Supposedly, if we're looking at it that way, PayPal is trading at an 87.6% discount when it had that low at that price of $38.46 within that week, coming down from that $310.16 10-year high. I was looking at the wrong camera again. So guys, let me go ahead and pull the charts back up. I'm gonna cut this camera off momentarily so we can switch to the other one. So we can end the show. Put this back so you can see me while we switch it over. Boy, I love technology. Yeah, it's back on. So here we go. Bam. We back in business. All right, so let's get ready to end the show. Bam. And thank you so much, J-Rock, for sponsoring the show. And I hope you know I appreciate you. My apologies. It took me a minute to see you even sent the cash up. But we fixing all of that. We got it. We getting it together. So you already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, July 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're reviewing this week's biggest gainers and losers, market sentiment and volatility, S&P 500 index sector performance, and creating a watch list for the week. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.